Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Lucas of Lucasgvariety here with my friends to play Dungeon World Indigo Magic by Adam Koebel and Sage LaTorra. This is June the 23rd, 2020, and we're back with our session number 3, preemptively titled, whoops, no, we'll just see what happens. But anyway, we are back. Got some cheer bits on the screen as we try to lure you into spending money to affect the players' games. Check them out right there. I'll explain a little bit. Also, I wanted to tell you guys a joke. Why did the snail paint an S on his car? So his friends would say, "Look at that S car go." Boom, +1 forward for me all night long. And now everybody cringes in horror except for Benny Dot because he's awesome. I'm gonna
7 out of 10.
Oh, I'll take it. Hey, I'm the GM. That's why I do it. Anyway.
Okay, 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, shut up. All right. Thank you.
I'm salty about it, and I will refuse to be anything but salty about that. See how you like that for your snail.
The snail jaw. Yeah, I do like that, actually. All right. Let's spread you across a slice of bread and have you give us the recap, Mr. Ralph McLeod, and then we will get rocking.
Well, the last session went a little something like this. So, me and my companions got ourselves a job from the wizard to go pick up his magical dangly necklace, which he managed to lose again. Seriously, he really needs to get an extended warranty on that because I am so tired. Because I imagine that he's spending a fortune every time on adventures trying to recover this. But I digress. But so we went snooping. We figured out where it went. So, which was in this dusty old tomb deep underground, and well, we proceeded to go in, and we were kicking butt at first. Skeletons, no problem. Big rusty iron gates, on the other hand, big problem. So after whacking it, and definitely, you know, like voiding the warranty on the gate. Well, the locals didn't quite take too kindly to that. So, out of the caskets pop 3 undead thingamabobbers. Oh no, that's more of Cecil, not Cecil's, Alvara's domain. I just fix stuff. I make things more magic-y. I really don't do undead. Apparently, though, I do really good at smashing gates after a bit with special tools. So, meanwhile, Olivera, Cecil, and eventually Mr. Dot out there were contending with them undead creepos that were woke up from their nap, and well, it could go either way. Olivera kind of got dunked on a little bit, so not calling you out, just calling you out or anything. It's just that it's just a little bit rougher than I think you should be. You're not supposed to have that many holes. So the Cecil getting his little minions to do the work for him, and being a fairly good distraction, but I imagine that the patron's about to hit him pretty hard. But Mr. Dot has been accompanying all of this with fancy schmancy music, although I'm not quite sure even he knows what he's playing. Well, I guess this is a long way of saying everything started to go sideways, and so I myself, the more logical of dwarves, said, "Screw it," and I ran in, grabbed the necklace and some other dangly bits. I think it was a pouch of gold or something. I haven't had time to check because there's there's horrors in there. We got to leave. But I got our prize. And, well, I was coming back, letting folks know it's time to leave. And, well, Cecil attempted to smack one of the undead thingies. And, well, that's where we are right now.
That is where it is. That was a delicious 7 or less, or 6 or less roll. And thank you for the recap, Ralph McLeod. We are going to actually jump back, pause it right there. That was like the recap. We go to commercial, where we do experience for our players from last session, and then we come right back into the action. So I will ask you guys some questions, and you guys will answer them, and maybe you'll get some experience.
Ask your questions, Guardian. I be not afraid.
What? It's your favorite color. Any of your characters have a bond that you feel is resolved, which is completely explored, no longer relevant or otherwise, with another player?
Yes, I do.
You have a bond that you feel you've resolved? Not created,
Yes.
but resolved.
Elvira is no longer likely useless to my plans without a lot of work. She's obviously very useful to my plans.
Ooh. Does the other player agree?
Yeah,
All right.
I think she's proven herself.
All right. Then you can erase
Even though I
that.
shouldn't have to prove myself.
Oh.
You don't have to, but you should. Everybody should want to.
Well, then you can erase that bond, mark an XP, and write a new bond in its place.
All right. So my current plan is to write for Elvira again to keep that going. Is very useful and deserves a reserved room until she can be convinced to join my tavern or my harem.
I didn't see
That's
that.
what I'm working on.
What?
I didn't see that coming.
Elvira is very useful and deserves a reserved room until she can be
I can
convinced
see
to
the
join my
latter-
tavern or my harem. I haven't started one yet, but I have
The
to start somewhere.
former makes sense. The latter, however,
No, I mean it's or. That's why it's not 100% one of them. No, it's or.
Oh,
Air goes
at least
in and
you're
out,
living
Zilla.
margin for one way or the other.
Exactly.
I was not expecting that.
Air
You
goes
should
in
get
and
red.
out.
Breathe in, breathe out.
It's my complexion.
Just like that. It's all good. You're as red as the dice over here on the. Nope, this way. Anyway, you can resolve more than one bond a session, but you only get to mark XP once. So that would be Cecil's. Does anyone else have a band, a bond, which won't be as funny?
I have a band.
Does anyone else have a bond that they've resolved, or are we good in this department? It's okay if not. Obviously. Well, once
Super okay for you,
I-
but not.
So Ralph is good in this case.
Okay. If you think of one in the next moment or so, you can always come back to it. I mean, you might have bonds for everybody. You may only have bonds for a couple. You can have up to 2 or 3 bonds for each person if it comes to that. So you can always write new bonds. All right. One more. Let's do the same. Did anybody fulfill their alignment at least once last session? So look at your alignment. Did you do accordingly? So you can read it if you think so, and then tell me how it is that you portrayed that alignment at least once. And if not, that's fine, because we are still learning the characters. We're still getting into them. It's really just starting. Obviously.
The undead would speak to me instead of just attacking immediately. I could have.
Well, you know.
Thanks
for trying.
I believe Benny may have been able to accomplish at least his alignment.
What's that? What's your...
Because he spurred others to significant and unplanned decisive action by making those minions bite and hack away at the door.
He did encourage them. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, go ahead, mark an XP. I think so. He pushed them. He really fired them up, and then they basically suicided themselves into that door trying to damage it. Which I like how you guys bypassed my entire dungeon just by going straight through the gate. Anyways, not angry at all.
But Ralph, fulfilled neutral, discovers something about a magical mystery. There's a bunch of spooky portals in that treasure room, guys. So that's indicating that this is a little bit more than just undead central. I think.
Very well could be. We will play to find out. Go ahead and mark XP.
Provided we don't all die. Because we had to wake up all the undead at once.
You did. And there actually is some more down the right path coming, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I have that in my notes.
How could you come? No, there's no way that noises came from us, not from them and the other.
It was the
town.
echo.
It's not going to be
Yeah,
good. It's not
it
going
was
to be
the
good.
echo of us, groaning in pain collectively.
Bravely run away.
So I have
No, I didn't.
Sing, Bard.
3 questions for everybody. If you answer yes, everybody marks XP. Did we learn something new and important about the world last time?
Yes.
Yes.
What was
Undead or evil?
Okay.
So
They're
undead are
not
a little
evil.
at least undead are slightly more common than anticipated.
Okay.
And our town has multiple streets that we're from.
Oh boy. Huh? All right. Everybody mark 1 XP for your barely making that question work. Did we
I banked that one early. I got that one early by accident.
did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? I don't know if you're quite. I don't know if
Not a notable one.
you guys defeated 1 Draugr so far, which you don't actually know that's what they are. Whoops. You defeated 1 undead mummified creature. All right. I think you might have that for this session though. Did we loot a memorable treasure?
Yep.
We got the amulet.
Yes.
I've got a magic
Oddly
necklace.
enough.
I've got a magic necklace.
All right, everybody mark 1 more XP. And XP is finished. Now, this goes to my players as well as the audience. You can see back on our first page here, we got some cheer bits up here for you. 100 bits forms a pool of +1s for our players to use at their behest to add to their rolls for make them successful. 200 bits gives me the power to introduce new dangers, threats, or monsters. Oh, and Flubadub just cheered 200 because he's such a troll and he loves to screw players over.
Dear.
Thank you,
Oh,
Flubadub.
this is gonna be fun.
It's like as soon as I said it, I love you, Drew.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
And 300
It is
bits,
as I foretold.
300 bits gives
Again, it is
players
the
an automatic
legend.
10+ to a roll, which they can also bank for later. So that gets us that little intro. Let's go back to our map. I have just banked a 200 bit that I must remember and will be coming. And uh-oh.
Oh, there's another 200. Oh, there's
oh,
it
no.
with a salt icon. Oh no.
I didn't believe.
What have you unleashed?
I've unleashed the
This
Flubadub.
is your fault. This is your fault.
It is. And I'm okay with it.
Well,
And
Oh, yeah.
I'm
we're dead.
okay.
Before we move on to actually getting started, it's
Sure.
not an XP thing, but I did come up with a new bond for Cecil,
Oh, yes. Well, let's hear
in
it.
that Cecil is more dependable than he lets on,
Oh.
because
I
he
like
was
that idea.
actually, effective.
Yeah, I did one thing properly. I'm gonna have to learn to keep my mouth shut about my minions around her at some point. Don't
And
let
your
on
harem, don't forget that.
Maybe
from Nick's
I
company.
wouldn't let on to that.
You don't talk about that in Nick's company. It's
I-
assumed.
John told me, and I didn't believe him. He's like, they're gonna abuse this. You're gonna.
I told you. I warned you about this, friend.
3 of them, awesome.
Just Ralph just screams in toaster.
Teams in toaster.
Well, before I unleash all hell on you, and we'll never get out of this dungeon, but deep breath. Whew. Thanks for the bond thing. Anyway, so Cecil, because Olivara had 2 undead on her, he managed to pull one off, or we managed to get one off, and he took this swing. What do you use? Is it a sword? A mace?
Me, a mace.
Mace. These things have swords. They have all ancient armor that they're wearing, ancient swords. I mean, think Skyrim. Think of the undead, the Draugr that are down in all the crypts. That's exactly what they are. They have these intelligent eyes, these lights glowing from their sockets. And Cecil swung, and it caught your mace on its sword. And it looks at you for just a second, and like it looks into your soul. And you're like, it's kind of like maybe a little surprised.
Darkness staring into darkness is a scary thing.
Exactly, and it seems to know that.
I mean,
you're-
I'm a tavern owner. Sorry.
it seems to know your
Stay in
darkness. I
Stay in
mean,
character.
and it steps back, and it's like, and it slams its sword down into the crypt floor, and suddenly, this is why I put the symbol around your character. These
I was wondering why my icon got so big.
I didn't change your icon. I just put I put a square around you. As you see, suddenly you're like in all this ice goes. This icy prison surrounds you right up to the ceiling, and you're not encased in ice, but you are inside a ring of ice, imprisoning you. You like barely have any wiggle room, and it just goes up, and you're stuck inside. You don't take any damage, but you are also trapped. And because Ralph McLeod's like, we got to get out of here. And suddenly Cecil is encased in ice. You hear the sounds of flesh, squishy, fleshy stuff mixed with bone and ligament from the north tower. You hear more of the sounds from the right corridor. And what do you guys do now?
Is there like a rock maybe about the size of a fist somewhere on the ground that I can pick up?
Sure, of course. There's also lots of skulls laying around and whatever.
You know, a skull might actually be more fitting because I'd like to craft an enchantment, please.
Holy crap, that's a long.
Essentially, I get to
Dictionary.
take a item and I get to enchant it with something. And depending on what I roll, determines how much stock I expend on it.
Okay.
But it can only hold one enchantment, and it is susceptible to being erased at some given point. So,
So you pick up a skull, and what enchantment do you put on this bad boy?
I would so considering that I probably saw Alavera cast it, I would like to enchant this skull to essentially radiate turn undead.
Oh. That's a spell I believe Alavara has, right? I don't have it.
It's not. It's basically the castigate, which is when you verbally rebuke an undead creature.
Okay.
It would be the closest thing that I have to that.
There is a turn undead on page 91.
Thank you. I was just like, where is?
So
Turn undead would be a cleric.
Oh my gosh.
Cleric thing. It's not a spell.
You know, Drew, you can just come over to my house and pay me money in hand. It's fine.
He really wants this to be a very short-lived character rotation.
Guess it does.
Thank goodness we have this backup character right here.
I do.
I haven't actually put mine together. I just have ideas. I guess if I need it, it's not too hard to do character generation.
You said you said Turn Undead was page 92?
1.
Oh, I went with
It's part of the clerics. It's not an actual spell.
There it is. It's a cleric move.
Only on a 7+ as long as you continue. Okay, so you are enchanting it with the power of turning undead.
Essentially, I'm looking to make the equivalent of this skull to be like an invisible dog fence, where it's just like the undead won't be able to get closer to this skull.
Okay, so you roll a 7. Is that all there is, or do I also? Is there also?
Okay.
Choose one. The enchantment is permanent as long as. Okay, so you have to choose one of the things on there. Okay, so there's no repercussion other than you cast a spell and enchantment is permanent as long as the mark remains.
So
whole.
yeah, I have barely avoided accidentally making a cursed skull because I didn't realize I'd also rolled it right there.
It does roll it, yes.
Yep. As soon as you click it, it rolls it.
So tell me what.
Lucas, did you go to that page?
Yes.
Because there is some negatives to this as well. Not for him, but for what you can do against him.
I just seen Turn Undead. You hold it aloft.
The 10+.
Aggression breaks the effects, and they are able to act as normal.
And then intelligent undead may still find ways to harry you from afar.
They're clever like that. Thank you.
But
it is very strong against the other ones.
it should at least maybe cork off this passage behind me.
most likely.
Well, tell me
So,
what the effect is that you
uh,
pick.
The current effect that I will pick out of my enchantment here is that the enchantment is permanent as long as the mark remains whole and unmarred. So that probably means that this thing's going to have a side effect to it in some form of limitation.
I
If
think
I'm reading the wording correctly here.
as long as the mark remains whole, and I think as long as the skull is not damaged, right?
Yeah. Oh, Flub just donated 300 bits.
Oh, that is an automatic 10 plus in the pool for you guys. So he gave a little back. That is, we'll have to have a spot where we keep track of that. So that's an automatic success when you
Thank
guys
you.
need it. Well, thank him. Thank you, sir.
Thank yous.
Blowing up my chat. I love it.
Mm.
All right, I'm getting distracted. I need a manager. I need a.
Yeah, but this
So-
will expend the remainder of my stock. So this essentially my magical enchanting like chalk snaps in half after this. So I won't be able to swap between enchantments or runic weapon after this because of all the switching I did earlier.
All right. Well, tell us. Then we're gonna move on here. What's it look like when you pick up the skull, and you do this?
Hold on, I gotta go. Somebody at the door.
You're fine.
So I just kind of like grasp for anything, and it just so happens to be the skull. Probably the one that was trying to bite me earlier on. I imagine the one that was gnawing on the end of my staff for a little bit before I flicked it off and it went limp. But then I take out my magic chalk. So specifically, like gold, like almost looks like whitish gold chalk, since it's kind of clerical.
I like that.
And I make it, and I start just furiously inscribing runic and enchantments into it onto the skull. Very rushed, hence why it's not perfect.
Sure.
But specifically, I'm essentially just trying to make the turn undead spell, so that way this skull I could just plant it, and when I do, it lights up in kind of this golden nimbus of light. The eye sockets almost are like the like cartoon like headlights almost coming out of this thing. And I just plant it in the hallway behind me where I knew the fleshy things are coming.
Oh.
And I really hope this works.
See.
in order to try to block off this passageway behind me.
All right. Oh, okay. You set it down, and it's emanating like you even from your distance. You see the two to the south, the ones down here, Balavara, are kind of like they're just kind of. They're not repelled. They're not close enough to be completely repelled, but they see it. It's like they're almost looking into the sun for them, right? So it hurts. And you hear from down the right passageway the scraping and clawings of the creatures getting closer, and someone's marking my map.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I was going to just put a point down in space, and it just decided that it was that apparently every time I just dragged everything that it was going to.
So I open up the map a little bit more so you can see that they're coming down the hall. It's not too far away, and this is using one of my dangers from Flubadub. So that was just to show you where they are. Whoops. Did I not put that? Oh, that's still on the map later. 1 second. Uh-oh. Lucas.
Oh, no.
I know, I'm messing up my own map here. 1 second here. Layer token. Boom. Gotta play.
The threads that hold our dimension are snapping.
And to use another one of the dangers. I'm gonna put those.
No.
Ralph, I'll tell you this: as you set it down and look in that room, you hear like the sound of like fleshy bits moving backwards, and the green light in the room fading. and then you turn around like, yeah, that's good, or whatever. And then down here, you see.
Sorry, it's my phone. I got an email, if you couldn't tell.
That's the sound you hear. Yeah. And
Yep.
this light. Oh, I know, Flub. That's just 2. I got 2 more I'm going to use. The light suddenly begins to shine in the southern room. Where it fades out in the north, it begins to open up in the south of the room. Nothing's come out of them yet. Nothing's happened. They just start to open up now. Cecil's trapped in a wall of ice. You still got 2 Draugr in front of you, 3 more coming down the east hall. What do you guys do? Now, you do have your prized possession. Really, Cecil's the only one that's trapped under ice, to quote the Metallica song. Trapped under ice. Haven't listened to that in a long time. Anyways, what do you guys do? Cecil perfectly is out of commission at the moment, waiting for you guys to save him. or leave him, and we make him roll a new character. Whatever. I care not. Benny, Alavara, Ralph. Ralph, you can go again if no one else is acting. It's fine. There is no initiative. I can just take a turn. It's cool.
If nobody else is going, since my staff is still imbued with the force aspect to it, the big stompy thing, I'm gonna take my staff and I'm gonna go start smacking on this giant ice cube to try to get Cecil out. Then
I do remember your staff had a hairline crack in it from some damage it took before. And run up. All right. I think, would you like to defy some danger by rolling your strength? Unless you have another method of attacking it?
I will go ahead and go with strength.
And then, Benny, we'll come to you. I think you were...
Seeing as how Ralph is trying to get Cecil out of there.
Nice roll.
Oh, excellent roll by Ralph. 11. I am going to give him a little bit of assistance. I'm going to try and do a performance, do a bardic spell to give him plus 1d4 forward to damage.
Okay. I'll allow that you're doing that. Ralph, I was going to say, so you rolled 11 plus when you defy dangerous strength. What is your damage that you do?
In this case, it's going to be
Oh my God.
blunt / force damage.
Does that ability you have on there do anything extra?
It just gives my staff the oh, I did not mean to click that. Oh,
That's fine.
so that I wasted a 12 on that. That's pleasant.
Mark experience, Benny.
What I wasted.
Oh.
So yeah, your weapon strikes like thunder. Add the forceful tag, so it has the forceful tag to it.
All right, so roll your damage plus the 1d. Oh wait, no, you don't get the 1d4. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Benny comes up, and it is not good.
And I'm hoping that this hits with the force of thunder to maybe at least get Cecil's head undone.
Oh, you got
So
the
you can bark orders.
you got the forceful tag. Okay.
Yep. because I never swapped back to the sun markings. Instead I just left it on the forceful, trying to.
I got it.
I blew the door off the hinge.
Benny begins playing, and you have your staff and you smash into the ice, and the ice just shatters from around Cecil, who looks really surprised, and it flies in the air. But as his music radiates through the air, the ice, instead of hitting the wall, just begins to swirl, and almost like it's possessed, it comes back and reforms around Benny and entraps him in the case of ice instead.
Sorry.
Well, this is a bother.
Excuse me.
Oh, come on! That is not in the technical specs.
Long story short, Ralph McLeod uses forceful staff to break the ice off you. Benny tried to assist, instead got encased himself by the same ice. And I am also...
I'm gonna mute my phone.
Please and thank you, because it terrifies me every time it
Meanwhile,
happens.
meanwhile, one of the Droger goes, yeah!
It's probably just like
Pointing and laughing.
So,
The temperature is dropping rapidly in here. The Draugr are closing in. There's 5 of them. There are still the creatures from the northern room, and the portals are opening to your south instead of the north now, as they've changed direction. Olivara, Cecil, anyone else? What do you guys do?
let me reread this ability, but you guys continue.
The undead are coming. The 3 from the south, from the east here, have all already drawn their great swords and are walking towards it. This one's great sword is still in the ground. He hasn't picked it up yet. His claws reach up and he's reaching for Cecil. The other 4 have their swords drawn and are closing in. I think Olivara, were you still grabbed by the one, or did you shake free? I don't remember.
I think I was still grabbed by the one,
Okay.
which puts a damper on what I was thinking.
Well, it's more narrative at the moment. You can still do whatever you want to try to do, even if it's cast
I'm
spell.
going to invoke my imposing presence because it's silly and I want to try it. When you wordlessly intimidate someone, roll plus strength. On a 10+, you cow them sufficiently and they avoid taking any actions against you. On a 7-9, they show some resistance and you will have to back up your intent with actions. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get either one of those because I'm feeling this 1 to 2 on this roll, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to the guy that whacked me.
Or you could take
iced me.
that 10+ that we have banked.
You have your
But
flexies.
that just.
So you're
Or
gonna.
the experience that comes with flubbing a roll.
I kind of want the chance of flubbing because it's experience.
Speaking of flubbing, thank you, Flubbadub. He's going home for the night. We'll see you later, sir.
Good
Thanks,
night, man.
thanks
We
for all
See
the
you later,
bits.
Flub.
Thank you,
Thanks for the
Flubs.
dangers.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. I'm
We'll
gonna
have
save
the VOD
that
up
to
soon.
somebody not dying or something.
Oh, Mark experience.
I did it, guys. I got experience.
Pop yourself out, and it's just like,
Hey, I didn't roll a double one. Okay.
So, what does it look like when you try to flex your muscles at this undead creature?
I just stared at him. He's just staring at him, and the guy just looks at him, looks back down, picks up a sword. Like, oh, didn't work.
Oh, all too easy.
Or punches me. Punches me is actually more amusing. As I stare, it stares back. And just, boop.
So this one not only moves, it moves over here. It looks at you and it flanks around you. Actually, it starts moving quickly and it picks its sword back up out of the ground, re-wielding it, and it's like, oh, that's what. And these 3 that came out of the hall move like lightning and respond to it, and suddenly all of them are surrounding Cecil. I'm going to move you over just a touch here. So the other 3 come from the hall. They push past Olivara and Ref, and they just ignore him. And they come up, and all 4 have swords drawn, and they raise them like this, and they're coming at you. Someone's going to have to either help them, or Cecil's going to have to defy danger in some way. You guys tell
I
me.
would love to defy
I
danger.
really
don't
need an
see
area
anything
there.
because I have a
will
wall of
attempt
ice
to
in front of me.
interfere.
You're gonna,
I will attempt to interfere with the Draugr.
what are you going to do?
So,
It would-
since a bunch of these guys just essentially conga like in a rush by me, I'm going to just stick my staff out to hopefully get the guy near the rear to trip and possibly throw everybody else off.
All right. What were you going to say, Olivara? What were you before you roll there, Ralph?
I was also going to attempt to aid Cecil in that.
All right. There is. I always forget what the aid roll actually does.
Roll plus bond. On a 10+, they take +1 or -2, depending on if you're aiding or interfering.
Sure.
7 to 9, you also expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost. So this is going to be fun.
How many bonds do you have with Cecil?
I have 1 bond with Cecil.
I actually have 2.
So you can. I'm talking. Are you, Ralph? Are you also aiding, or are you trying to specifically attack the thing? Olivara, you can just roll a 2d6 plus 2.
I will actually go ahead and attack one of these things as they're going by, and attempt to at least try to dock their numbers, because since my staff is forceful, if I do manage to tap it, it's going to go flying across the room.
All right. So
I can at least reduce the chances of disaster by 1.
So you're going to hit it with. So I would say defy danger using your strength or your dex, depending on how you want to. Maybe even dex as you're trying to like slip it in there, but you tell me. I think it sounds like defying strength or defying danger with strength, or hack and slash, I guess technically.
Yeah, I think it's hack and slash.
Yeah. It is. I should look at the basic moves.
Yeah.
Cecil will have
What
a.
do you think,
Go ahead.
And what do you think, guys? Would it be okay to take that 10+ in the pool here, just to keep Cecil from eating it super hard?
I'm okay with it.
He's still gonna take. Well,
I mean, if I defy danger, if I take that 10+, I
Right,
do what
that's
I do
better.
and set out to the threat doesn't come to bear.
Yeah, right. That's better. Never mind. I will not take that 10+. Instead, I'm gonna just wacky with my stick.
want you hack and slash plus strength? Oh, mark experience. I have some damage deal around. Alavara, you technically gave Cecil a +1.
And exposed myself to danger.
Yep. And
So close to a 10.
Cecil, are you going to take the 10+? Because you have a +1 from Alavara.
Oh man.
I would just take the 10+, dude, because that's like 4 drug or with
Yeah.
magic fucking great swords.
Yeah, I
Let's
would
not
too
die
at
this
point.
early. Let me get at least one
I will
level up chance.
Since she
before
helped
I
you
die.
though with making a roll and exposing herself, I'll allow you to carry that +1 forward to your next roll. So since you're going to take the automatic 10+, I'll give you the +1 that she just gave you as a +1 forward to your roll that comes after. Just remember to use it, okay?
Okay, so I'll write that down. So yeah, he's going to go with strength because that was his highest combat skill or whatever.
Okay.
You know?
So you
And he defies danger with the 10+ with powering through. Basically, what he's doing, he's grabbing them as they come in and shoving them back into each other, like almost like the Three Stooges.
okay.
But one of them isn't got a pair at the moment, and it falls back towards her,
Okay.
or should I say, accidentally gets pushed onto her back, like as she was messing around.
I can't. Why does that always happen? Okay. So Ralph, you rolled a 6. This one's for you. You're going to take 7 damage as the one you hit, but it grabs your staff and it thrusts it with the forceful tag, of course, straight up into your chin, and you get thrown into the air. You stab your staff, and it's holding on to your staff, and then it slams you back down because you're both still holding on to it, and you hit the ground. And so not only do you get hit up in the air, but you hit the icy ground, and you're just like broken a little bit.
So I will only take 6 because my robes give me +1 armor.
Yep.
Is that the correct understanding?
Correct. Yep. Armor, unless it's armor or it's not armor piercing, whatever they call it. It's just called piercing. It would go through, but no.
Damage.
So you only take 6. Alavera, on the other hand. 1 day. That's going to be an extra because the one that you also tried to assist with turns back on you, plus the one that's grabbing you, and with freezy icy damage, they both lay hands on you, and you take, unless you have armor, 6 points of freezy damage. Looking bad, kids. Looking bad.
Yeah, I'm a little hurt. I'm at 9 of 21 right now.
Oh, it's getting
I'm
icier.
very hurt. I'm half dead.
Your arms are going from turning blue to slightly darker and more necrotic as that damage is really eating away at you. And these portals down here in the south are growing brighter, and you can see the floor starting to crackle away as it's just like a portal. And you guys can hear the sounds of like it's like flesh, gross flesh moving on flesh is moving around. Cecil gets an automatic 10+. He pushes his enemies away. Ralph is starting to pick himself up, dust himself off. Benny is seeing all of this happen, and Alavara her limbs are turning black. What do you guys do now? Please quit
Benny
rolling
at this
sixes.
Benny at this point, seeing that Alivara is taking a lot of hits, is going to try and heal her again.
Okay.
He was originally going to try and get out of the ice stuff, but seeing somebody is getting hurt out there,
Well done.
yeah. So he's going to try again.
All right, so you are. I'm not going to penalize you. Oh, when he
Woo.
needs to do it.
So that is
2 in a row.
1d8 healing.
Yes, I am scumming. I am scum.
No, you're not. I have 2 in the tank, and now you guys have 2 10 pluses in the tank because of Jodo's generous donation. Go ahead and roll your healing. Your healing help. Benny, you are encased in a prison of ice, and yet you still managed to make your music burst through the cage and heal Alivara. What does that look like? And roll your healing power.
Let's see. How do I roll 1d8 again?
You can just type in
Slash R.
Yep, /R space.
Slash R's. Yeah.
1d8.
Correct.
Yeah.
Last.
3 damage.
It's rough.
It's better than nothing.
Yep.
So
I don't think she'll deny it. So
he starts playing this soothing melody that only manages to just barely break the ice wall, and it just comes over to her necrotic wounds on her arms, and you see it slowly recede just a little bit, this yellowish goldish light.
it's beautiful. Good. I'm sorry. Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I apologize.
No, I was done.
No, I think
Now he kind of just curses and goes, now to try and get out of this freezing prison.
and you can try if you have an idea, or tell it
He's-
to you guys.
At this point, he's going to try and defy danger. He's going to literally. How does this ice wall look? By the way,
I mean, it's solid ice, probably like 2 or 3 inches thick, kind of like in pillars. Like there's little gaps in between, I would imagine, but like kind of like just like bars of a cage, and they go right up to the ceiling.
he's literally going to try and kick off one wall, kick off the other wall, kick off the other wall, and climb his way up
That sounds
using
like
defy danger.
That sounds Dex.
That's definitely Dex. That's why I picked it, because Dex is his next highest score.
so. If you're gonna kick your way through, it sounds more like you're powering through with strength.
No, he's going to
No,
try and
he's-
kick his way
he's-
up and out.
Oh,
He's doing
He's
acrobatics.
bunny hopping.
I misunderstood
Yeah,
you. Okay,
so- or Mario wall hopping.
got you.
Yeah, Mario wall hopping.
I apologize. In
That's
that
a
case,
better analogy.
definitely defy Dex with, or sorry, defy danger by rolling plus
Defy
Dex.
Dex.
Defy Dex with danger.
I defy being dexterous.
Well, we'll find out if you do. Oh, you do.
Oh God.
Oh no!
By second 6 of the night.
Mark XP again.
Oh,
If you guys
God.
survive, you're all gonna
I'm
level up.
almost leveling up though. I'm almost leveling up through my failures.
We have to survive to level up, guys.
Fail upwards.
Can I spout lore about those portals?
You can. Let me just think of how I want to destroy Benny.
I think about that, but I don't.
His emotions
voice
are
it.
already destroyed, man.
So you get to the top, like you're parkouring back and forth, and you get to the top, and you reach the top, and you jump a little high, and you hit the ceiling, but you do it so well, you actually go through the ceiling, and onto like this plateau, and you're gone. You're in a different room. I'm gonna put you over to the side here.
It's a glitch. He clipped through the floor.
This is the thing that happened. You are now separated from. You're separated.
Dinosaurs.
You can't go back the way you came because you'd just be back in the cage. So you have to find another way back into the room or another way out of here.
got
But you are
wall
now
hacks.
gone and separated from everybody else.
And how much damage did I take going through the ceiling?
You didn't take damage. The move I made against you was just that. Well, I don't
separated.
speak the names of the moves. That's because it takes away from the narration.
Okay.
So instead, you just you're like, yeah. Wait a minute, what? And you're suddenly in another location.
I'm
This
going
is not
to
how I
have to
planned it.
call up my horde.
All right. What? Well, let me jump back to Ella. Or I guess
Yeah, she goes first. Mine doesn't take any narration, but go her.
you can roll for it then. Go ahead and spout. Let me see the spout lore. When you consult your human
Yes.
knowledge rolls plus int. unless you have a
And
different.
does it have to do with anything about spirits or the lands beyond the Black Gate?
These are rolled well. Well, roll your plus int, and I will maybe tell you.
Well, if it is, it's wisdom instead of int, is the thing.
Oh,
because
okay.
of my death lore move.
That's right. What was it again? The requirement? Is it about?
When you spout lore about spirits or the lands beyond the Black Gate, you roll with wiz instead of int.
Spirits or lands beyond the Black Gate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go ahead. Roll with wisdom. Yep.
Okay.
If it's undead, it should always be. I guess there'd be special circumstances, but undead, you're probably safe with your wisdom instead.
Okay, give me a second. My computer's being slow. There it goes. 9.
And you want to spout lore about these portals?
The portals, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to ask you how
I'm
you.
a 10.
I'm going to ask you how you know this, and you're going to have to tell me how you do know this. In fact, all right.
Okay.
So you're just like looking at them, like, and these things are still grabbing onto you, and you see these things here, and you see these, just like, this like something pinkish gray and nasty, like peeking itself, you know, like trying to crawl out of the hole. You're like, what is that? And something triggers your memory from whatever you learned it, and you'll tell us in a second. And you're like, yep, it's definitely a portal, but it's like a corrupted portal. So it's like, you know, as it is not a very common thing, but sometimes portals can be created to transport you, let's say the material plane or this plane of existence is, from one spot to another instantaneously by going through like the shadow plane or some other, actually usually it would be through the ethereal plane, but in this case it's definitely through a more corrupt plane, not the shadow plane, something else that you don't know exactly what plane of existence it is, but it's not the plane of existence in which you should travel through when using a portal spell. So that is all I'm giving you. Now tell me, how do you know this when you look at these portals?
I imagine she could probably have had some use of portals in the past. Some, perhaps Death himself has created portals for her to get from one area to another quickly. And so she knows what portals should look like. And these are obviously sickly.
Sickly is a good way to look at it, I think. Perfect. As you're doing that, and spelling lore very well, Cecil, what did you do?
He snaps his fingers behind his shield and is like, get back over here. And the minion that was vaporized, someone looks just like him, stands up in the same spot he was and runs back over to him. And two run up to him with pieces of the lock in their mouth.
Okay.
And they just kind of stop behind him and they're like, okay.
Alrighty. Ralph is otherwise engaged. Alvaro is still engaged. You have your guys back.
That was an action for me.
What do you guys do now? These dangers are coming to pass pretty soon. It's getting even colder. Everybody's starting to feel it. Benny's not there. You know Benny's where he's at, but you're like, if you look, well, maybe you can't see him. And oh man, I could never have predicted this.
I'm going to take another action because I was rereading my ability here for my minions. And I don't have to roll for them to join me in combat. I just have to spend some of the horde to do more damage and such for me. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to thump the one that's turned away from me. That's over here by Ralph.
Oh, in between you? The one you have flanked, kind of? Okay.
Yep. Just going to hack and slash.
Hack and slash him.
I'll look over here.
Boom.
Oh, double sixes.
You rolled double sixes.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Critical
Nice.
How much damage would you do?
Well, normally it's a D8, so I'll roll that.
So you can
That's
also...
your option.
Yeah.
Nope.
First one.
But what I can do is I'll spend one horde And your blow is aided by the strikes of my minions. +1 damage or forceful or stunning. I'm going to add stunning to this. And I'm going to drop 1 horde, so I'm at 2 horde.
Okay. And you roll boxcars, so in our house rule, if you get double 6s, you not only make it and do it well, but you also get a little extra.
So, so that's 4 damage base.
It's okay.
Plus, or no, 3 damage plus stunning to that guy.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Let me do.
Smacking the back of the head with the mace. I'm like, felt like it was going to do more.
Let's see. What's a good stun tag? Boom. Give him a little color on there too, so you can see it.
He just kind of looks over the monster's shoulder to Ralph. These things seem tougher than they were when they were getting out of the grave, weren't they?
So, you and your nameless minions attack the one in front of you, but when you cock back to hit it, the one behind you is actually there, and you smash it in the face, and then you go forward and you smash the other one, so you actually do damage to both of them and stun both of them. So
Ooh,
I still
Cecil.
say that.
So
I didn't even see.
So you got 2 out of commission at the moment. Very good.
In seeing this, Ralph will definitely capitalize on the fact that the Draugr in front of him is stunned. So and he will follow up with a hack and slash of his own to try to either obliterate it, or at least with the forceful tag clear some space.
Okay.
So
Go ahead. Hack and slash away. I'm ready.
oh come on.
You do it.
Yeah, I do it. There's complication.
There is. Sometimes you deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you.
So you still get to roll your damage.
Yes, please.
And if you got the effect still goes off. It just gets to smack you before.
That should work. So it's stunned, like it reaches up and grabs you by the throat just as it gets hit, and it's like it's just like stunned looking at you, but the damage is already seeping into your throat, and you're able to back out of its grasp and then smash him. And you can tell me how it works, but you destroy him utterly as you pull out of his grasp and swing your staff of forceful nature.
So
Forceful opinions.
So that's 3 cold damage or whatever.
3 necrotic, yes. Minus your armor, so 2.
So yeah. So but like Ralph is probably and he's probably choked up on the staff just to hold the head, the forceful bit, and he essentially just like bashes it in, and it goes off with that thunderous force, and probably sends the Draugr's head flying off like a soccer ball.
Which goes right past Cecil's head, because he's right there, and it bounces off the stunned Draugr, like it's just starting to come back too, and his buddy's head hits him, and he's still stunned. And then camera rotates up through the ice cavern into this hollowed out area above, and we see Benny, who's just like, hey.
Hell am I?
What are you doing, Benny?
At this point, I want to get back down, back with my companions. So he's going to defy danger again and try to grab onto the edge of the hole he made with his body and swing around, missing the ice and hopefully landing on the stone ground below.
Nothing can go wrong here. So
nothing could go wrong.
Defy danger with your
third
dex.
6 for the night.
Let's do this.
Just watch.
I would have leveled up if I wasn't dead.
Right.
All right, here we go.
All right. Oh
God.
my goodness.
See, you didn't roll another 6. You were
You rolled a
all the way
5.
off.
You were a little
Rolled a
optimistic for that
5.
6.
Mark that beautiful XP, Benny.
On
That
the
is
bright
3
side,
for you.
I could level up whenever we survive this.
As soon as you camp out in your extra dimensional space up there.
I'm gonna take a look at your
Should
character
have stayed
sheet.
home.
Benny, just, like Benny and
I
company,
should have
just
stayed
remember
in
we
my
have.
home upstairs.
I
Okay.
live here now.
This is my
This is my
existence.
existence now.
Pain central.
Where's your?
So
Oh God.
Hold on one second here. I'm trying to take a look at where your equipment is.
just as a reminder to everybody, I paid for 2 10 pluses in the bank.
You do have 2 10 pluses in the bank.
So Benny, let's save one for Benny, so Benny could at least get out of this cage of misery.
Clearly, the rolls say no. You're doomed.
Okay, so here you go. You have dueling straight razors, right?
Yes.
You
However,
did.
they're not
Not
out.
anymore.
My violin's out right at the moment.
That's okay. Because you're swinging, so things get caught. So
Oh.
here's a hard choice for you, sir. Either you're going to lose one of your 2 blades there, because you swing, it gets caught on the ice and sticks, and you jump down, and you're down. You have a rough landing, but you don't take a damage. Or you keep it, and it actually tugs, and you fall backwards, and you fall to the ground back inside the cage, but you have all of your possessions.
You know
Devil's
what?
bargain.
For kicks and giggles, let's say I go back inside the ice prison, but I have all this stuff.
Crunk. You guys hear like the ground crack and some of the ice crack around him as he hits.
Hey, I'm out of the sea. Oh, dang it!
You're like, I think I broke.
Guys, God damn it! God.
He just like Pippin from Lord of the Rings. Like, I think I broke something. And he pulls out the broken carrot from the field. Aww. Epic fail.
That was Mary, actually.
Oh, was it Mary? Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
I was wondering. Okay, well.
You cough and dance music.
So, it's not bad. You guys are doing okay.
Down
I'm
now.
doing the best.
Are you sure?
But
Oh
Down now.
Oh.
so the skeletal creature is just getting out and standing and looking up, and its eyes are just glowing these wild colors. I don't remember what it was last time, but we're just gonna say
They were green. They were green because that was what we were seeing.
this portal. That's fine. They are bright green, and it's got this like intestines that wrap all the way through it and comes out the mouth, and like this like clawish mouth thing, and it steps up. It's just like, and they look intelligent
Well.
as well.
That is slightly nauseating.
It's very, very disgusting.
Indeed.
Trying to make it gross, but not make you guys throw up. I don't know. So,
A simple fetch quest, they said, should be easy money, he told me. I swear I am going to beat that wizard whenever we get out of here.
Cecil starts to turn around. He stops. He looks at Ralph. Ralph, see to the lady's aid. And he's gonna look at his 2 companions and go, "You're going in the holes. You know that, right?"
oh,
And he's rolling for it.
wait, what? Are you commanding them to jump into the 2 other portals?
7 to 9. There's a mild complication when you don't get quite what you want when you manage in this thing. Okay, so yeah, they accomplish it, but just like any other task, they don't quite get what I wanted out of the task. But I was telling them to go block the holes, basically.
Okay. So they're like, and these guys, they both look weirdly like.
So I've made a mild complication, have another mild complication. Well, I would consider these major complications that have turned into mild complications, but it's still not in my favor. Dang it.
It blocks the holes for the moment, not permanently. So I think that gives you a little bit of a leeway. So one runs to each of these greenish. Oops, I'm clicking on the Streamlabs screen, not here. So one runs to each of these 2 portals, and they jump in, or they go to jump in. And these 2 both look like mildly like human raccoons. Like they got kind of furry faces, and they got these black markings around their eyes and kind of pointy ears. And they're just like shiny, 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 shiny. And as they get there, they're just about to jump in, and this fleshy tongue thing comes up and grabs them both right in the stomach simultaneously. And they're like, and their stomachs burst open, and these tonguey things start grabbing all their intestines and pulling it down into the portal, and they just fall on top, and they're just like.
So Cecil will turn back around to Ralph and go, "You got a minute. We got to hurry this up."
You're such a.
And,
I don't know if you're a good person. I don't know.
and Ralph will come up and he's going to take a baseball swing at the Draugr that's not currently latched onto Olivero, but the one flanking.
Okay.
Start removing the problems from her.
Oh, Cecil, don't forget you have an extra +1. Did you ever use that?
Did not.
So, save it.
I'll use that.
Use it for your
I'll
next
use that
roll.
on my hack and slash. Yeah.
All right. And then we're going to come to Olivera and Benny next.
Oh, and that I spent 2 horde to add because it's a blank roll. It's a 2d6 blank with plus horde, so I have 0 horde again. So.
Well, that makes sense now that they've just. Well, anyway, we know what happened. Ralph?
I'm going to expend one of those 10 pluses in the pool. Leave the other 10 plus for Senor Barber and stuck in his ice prison back there to automatically succeed a hack and slash and with my forceful staff to essentially begone thought this Draugr hopefully into the other one.
All right, go ahead and roll your damage then, as you have no problem.
Huh.
I don't think this one was damaged yet, and it was very close.
Hey,
So.
that's a 4 out of 4. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. You do the D4. So that's actually good. So this thing,
It doesn't look good, but it is good for him.
I like the idea that you hit it forcefully is enough to take it out. So you smash it, and it flies across the room and hits this wall right here and just breaks apart into all these mummified bits and pieces.
Structural integrity lost.
Yeah, all done. So nice work. There's still 3 Draugr. 1 is stunned. One of these other creatures have crawled its way up. The other 2 have not been able to merge yet. Olivara, you still have this one that's still grabbing onto you as you're just struggling here. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I'm gonna spend my last soul to castigate it.
Oh, mark that XP.
My last soul for nothing.
So you have a soul in reserve, and you're burning it up or releasing it. What is it when you spend a soul? What actually happens to the soul?
So the way I've been rationalizing it, because it doesn't make sense otherwise, is that when she, when she performs her last rites, she takes the soul basically into herself.
That's right.
And when she utilizes it to cast her spells or to castigate, it purifies the soul and allows it to pass on.
Hey, something's not right here. You're rolling charisma
Yeah,
on this?
for the castigate. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just confirming because it says you got +0s.
Yeah, I
Across
have
the board.
+0 for charisma.
Okay. I'm just making sure that's the thing
Yep.
because that the otherwise looks really very terrible.
Yep.
All right. So you spend this soul so it can pass on finally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is still holding on to you. So the soul will eventually leave your body and dissipate into the next realm of its existence. But instead, you can maybe you see it in your own weird vision, or you feel it, or you sense it in some way, as the soul would normally leave and like drift away, so to speak. Instead, it actually channels through and down through your arm and goes up through the arm of this Draugr, and it goes right into its body. And suddenly, you see its eyes just glow even brighter, and it's like, and it looks stronger and more resilient and more powerful.
Of course.
Of course it does.
Who's next? I can't make this stuff up. Wait, yes I can.
Betty, please get out of the ice cage.
I believe we should focus
at
on
this point-
removing ourselves from this situation.
Gee, you think? I've only been saying that for the last 10 minutes.
2 weeks. Oh yeah.
Oh god.
And Benny, are you using that last 10 plus to get out? Again.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
He hits the warp pipe. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So explain what you do to get out. I mean, it's going to be successful. So
He finally manages to
Smell.
do that
Hit that
monkey,
note.
that Mario wall jump correctly, but this time he's playing at the same time, giving himself a plus to his action. So he manages to get up and then slide down the other side, still playing.
oh, that would look.
With a rather angry looking face.
That would look. Holy crap, Jodo!
Did he just throw another? Good God, man!
My other half is gonna slap me upside the head later. But
I'm glad I'm not there to see that, but I am glad I'm here to see this. So that's 3 more 10 pluses in the bank for
because
our
we need
heroes.
them, guys.
Because apparently,
This is not even supposed to be hard.
I may have some more.
And Benny Dot parkours up while playing his violin. I can't imagine how cool this looks. Flips over and then does that wall slide down while playing and comes down on a high note. It lands low on a high note. There we go. Boom. And is safely out. The ice prison is actually technically the ice prison. Now let's move you to the side. Ice prison is still. Whoops. Sorry. Ice prison's still there, but you are no longer in it, right? So.
Hooray.
What do you guys do now? That was beautiful. Thank you for the 10 pluses to thwart me. Because you guys have only
We
been.
needed it.
You've only.
Because we got a lot of stuff stacked up against us because of certain donations.
I still have 2 in the bank.
Just don't expect this constantly. So,
Cecil's going to want to run forward and smack the one off Alvera instead of hitting the ones near him.
Okay. You just charge him with some some hack and slashy.
Yep, and he's just going to start. He's going to yell as he runs through.
And you have your +1 here, right?
Once he's loose, you got to get out. We got to go, and hopefully this does well. Hey.
So is that a 9 then? I guess it doesn't matter.
No, it's an 8. I put it on the +1 forwarding.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well,
Yep.
that actually works. So
I still do damage. Did great damage.
that's enough. I mean,
It's not adding my strength. Oh, it doesn't. No. Good.
Okay. So narratively, Elevar is free. I mean, she can still, like I said, do stuff and get away anyway. It's just like that's where we've been in the narration. But you smash it back. I think actually you take it where it's been holding on to her. You actually take its hand off. The hand like just shatters and it's free. So its right hand is gone. It stumbles back, but you can see this thing looks bigger and more powerful. Like, wait a minute, this one looks different
this
than
is
the other
weird.
ones.
Yep. That's when he is like, you gotta go now.
And just because it makes sense, it just like, and it stabs its sword right into your gut. At least maybe misses some vital organs, doing 4 points of, stabbing damage.
Yeah, let me look at.
And minus any armor that you have, of course.
So I take 2 damage.
2 damage. So it glances off your cool looking armor. And
Yeah, my semi-floaty plate literally shifting around it, trying to clean it off.
so ow, dang it, cat. Getting attacked.
Yeah, that's what I say too. Ow.
My cat is trying to help you guys. Look at it. She's like, yes. Let them
Distracted
go.
by me.
Let them go and pet me.
Direct
Yes.
the DM.
Oh,
So,
I can cast spells without spending soul.
That's
Yeah, you just spend it for the bonus roll.
let
But
go.
yeah, he's like, we've got to go. Get her out of here.
So everybody's technically free. Everybody will at least have to do an action to get out of there because there are still enemies on all sides. And these portals over here are still not closed. They're just occupied for the moment. But it only takes a 6 or less to make that not happen. Even a 7 or 9, really, now that I think about it. So what do you guys do?
I'm gonna attempt to do with Alvaro to get Alvaro clear of the Drugger while also smacking Super Drugger hopefully into fleshy monstrosity behind him.
So you
My forceful staff.
so you're gonna smack this guy into this one right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, I'm literally just gonna just like grab Oliver, and as I'm pulling her back, I'm using her as a counterweight almost to bring my staff around to whack this thing.
Okay.
Basically exchanging position.
Let's have a little hack and slash, as it seems to be what it should be. Are they going to escape the Dark Tunnel's crypt? Stay tuned.
I am, and considering how beat up everybody is, I'm going to use one of those 10 pluses I put in, so leaving 2 more 10 pluses in the pool.
I had a move I wanted to make too. Dang it. You guys, this isn't fair.
We're working
We
on it.
need to live until we level up.
I'm.
Okay. Damage. This one was already damaged before, I believe.
Yep.
Yep.
All
I
right.
did the same thing.
But the forceful should also shove this thing into the other thing, all their thingy-ma-bobber.
You did. You hit it. It smashes into it hits this other creature and shatters. This thing is like slammed back against the wall. You hear like the sound of cracking bones and smushing intestines going crack, all that together. And this disgusting kind of cloud of stank as it hits the wall just kind of erupts into the room. And it's definitely like, when you got an animal and you hit one of the intestines and open it up when you're not supposed to because you did it
when you
wrong.
get a call to that house, the crazy cat lady's house, the one that has like 90 cats
And she's a hoarder.
and a hoarder.
So it's like ammonia plus rot and lots of well, that's all you need. It's nasty. This thing is like stunned for a second. It's looking up. This other creature looks like it's stunned and is wearing off. What do you guys do?
Leave.
Time to go. Time to go.
Yep. Cecil just turns. Benny and Alvera first.
Oh,
Off to
God.
the rear.
Hi, Kane. One of my sister's dogs.
Oh,
Hi, puppy.
Good Bucci.
I didn't latch the door.
Animals always welcome on stream.
Always.
Who's a good boy?
He's the crazy one.
Who's the big sweetie?
Yep. All right. Well, crazy dogs outside.
We need to get out.
TFO, please.
I think everybody needs to defy danger some way, shape, or form just once, and you can be down the hallway and free. But you can tell me how you do it, and you can work it to your best stat. So,
I'm gonna say it's defy danger for me. I'm just gonna be trying to dodge out of the way and get the heck out.
yep. So
I'm
you
not
want
sure how I can make this an int roll
you could be like, I'm looking
or a
for.
wisdom roll.
You could be like, I'm just looking at the layout. I'm looking where there's less things to slip on, the easiest route around all the obstacles, and that's what I'm going to do to get out of here.
Yeah.
Or
It's tough
you
trying to
ask
think of
Ralph
how
to
it's a
tell,
charisma thing.
or you ask Ralph to tap you with his staff of forcing goodness to launch you down the.
Cue Wilhelm's.
I saw the crack in that thing. I don't think I'm gonna trust it until it's fixed.
Fair. So, as long as you don't.
I mean, I would use charisma, but I have no idea how I'm going to say, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, and get out.
Alavara. So you defy danger and intelligence. So yeah, and like looking
Yes.
around, like this looks like the best route. And
So she takes a second. Everybody probably takes off before her, and she takes a second, does that like Sherlock Holmes thing where she analyzes everything all at once before.
yeah, perfect.
Hypotenuse of Z on the XY axis of Venus.
I'll put you down here because you
Yes.
go by. Benny Dot is. So tell me how you parkour past. Like, what's it look like?
I just start, if I meet any opposition, I just twirl around it as if I'm dancing, just going around using the leather coat that I'm wearing as sort of a distraction for anything that might try to take a swing at me, so they swing at it rather than me.
I feel like when you pass by one of these portals right here, one of those fleshy tongues like reaches out and like tries to grab around your ankle, but you pull free just the last time, and then one shoots out at you like at your head as you go by the other one, and you just Matrix style under or whatever, and you are past and safe at the moment. Nice work.
All right.
You next.
mentally trying to figure out which one of these two. I'm just gonna. We're gonna roll the high dawn. That's what I thought.
How do you defy danger with charisma?
I literally call for more minions as I'm running to just basically Mr. President behind me every time they start to swing. And they're like coming out of the wood. It's almost like they're coming out of my clothing. There's so many of them.
And they're
There's
just
just a trail of them going. He's got one by the scruff of the neck, literally slapping him into like the face of one of them as he runs past it. And just keeps
oh my
going.
gosh. All right, before you roll, tell me how you do it, and then I just want to make sure I know which danger, how you defy it. All right. That was beautiful. Oh, I have to tell you the consequence, I guess.
Yeah, I did roll a 9.
Oh, one second. Let me just check.
I want to hear more.
I didn't mean to, but I already rolled it, so I'm gonna stay with it.
No, you're fine. So this one, like, picks itself up off the wall. This creature that's already there, and you just see the fleshy bits turn like a bright red, and it's just like as it grows extremely barbarian rage-ish, and it just like lashes out, and it's just lashing out diff organs everywhere, almost making spider webs all over the floor, like right in front of Ralph as Cecil's going by. And it's just expanding, getting more terrible, more awesome, more just destructive and insane. Ralph?
Sorry, customer service is closed. And I am going to try to, like before, I'm going to try to road runner my way out.
So
I'm gonna. It's defy danger with Dex to Roadrunner out to essentially just lickety split, and I will burn one more of the 10 pluses that I've paid for. Because I do not want. Yep, because that thing is not my job.
It's not in the contract.
I've
wasn't
already
on the work order.
I've already pulled my more than my weight.
Ralph, you've done well. You've done well. Oh, I'm just going to take all the hallway with me. I just don't want to do that. All right, so that's fine. That's fine. Let's go back to the... let's go back here. So the 10 plus, you guys have one more 10 plus in the bank. I have a couple more bad things to take, but I'm not going to spend them here. I'm going to hold on to them because I can.
Use them when we least expect it.
Yes. You can hear the Draugr chasing you and the Moarg, I'm not sure how you say it, coming after you, but you guys race ahead, and then you come to the pit that you had defied before, and you quickly across the ropes. Maybe you cut them behind you, and you burst out of the cave back into the late afternoon sun of this land that you live in, and find yourself back in the fresh air of the world.
So it's a cave, or is it like a mausoleum?
It's kind of like a mausoleum down in a cave. It's ancient and old and buried. So, and I will direct your attention to over here. Actually, let me go back and copy your pawns, your tokens.
Yeah, world map.
I built
a world
map today because it was fun and I had some time. So, I'll direct your attention over here to the Dark Tunnels Crypt. Now, Boston, as we decided, Baston is your home.
Boston.
And that's where you kind of are nearby. We'll come to the map for everybody else later on. But we're just going to say, for the purpose, especially if you get out and you keep moving, you get out of there and escape. Maybe you shut some doors, trigger an avalanche. I don't know. You do something and you leave the Dark Tunnels Crypt behind. Ralph, you have the bag of gold, which I think I told you how much, or bag of coin, which I think I told you how much it was last time.
Yes, and I already added it to
220.
yeah, like.
And you also have the Z pendant that belongs to Zorm, son of Zorm, the wizard.
Mm-hmm.
And did you sling that around your neck? Did you put it in your pocket?
It's been stuck on the end of my staff this entire time.
Oh.
It's literally been just because he literally got it stuck in his staff. And he's like, "Fuck this."
So
That worries me.
you guys,
It should.
You guys get out. Oh, I should change the music finally.
Like Overworld thing.
Should. All right. Lost mine. That would have been perfect.
We'll lose mine later.
I'm losing my mind now. Hate getting
Now
tired.
the Pirates of the Caribbean theme stuck in my head. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm savvy with that.
Best start believing in ghost stories. We're living in one.
All right. So you get out and you get far enough away to where it's safe. Maybe you look back and you see the creatures at the end of the cavern, or at the edge of the cavern, but they don't dare venture out the side, it seems like. They stop at the edge. Whether it's the sunlight or they are bounded, you don't know. And you make it out and you can get away. It's like I said, late afternoon sun. It'll be dark in just a couple hours. This crypt hovers on the edge of the Shadow Dragon Mire, which is a very, very large swamp. You know, a few perilous journeys to the northeast get you back to Boston and your city that you call home. Ralph, everybody's been noticing their magic. Everybody but Ciso doesn't use magic, or does he? Has been noticing that your magic's been acting up a little bit, especially got weirder as you got inside the Dark Tunnels crypt.
No wonder my castigate didn't work.
Yes. There is still
That's what we'll blame it on.
And everything didn't work.
you hear, so usually there's like, Ralph's father, what's your dad's name again? Oh yeah, Tim. Tim the Enchanter.
Tim.
You hear
Tim McLeod.
Tim's
The
like,
Enchanter.
McLeod Repair Service. Always there to help you out with all small appliances. Maybe soon moving into larger appliances. And you're like, wait a minute, I've never heard that part of the ad before. And then you just hear like, Ralph, you've done amazing things. We should think about working together again soon. I know I'm dead and everything, but hey, maybe it's time you moved up the ranks. I mean, seriously, Ralph, why are you not the new CEO of the company? You're my son, for crying out loud. Why are you still on house calls?
Because I'm the only... Like, at this point, he's gonna scrabble his robe off, and he's got, he's got... It's probably the main layer he was wearing, so he's probably out there in, like, a wife beater and, like, boxer shorts with probably, like, classic red heart pattern boxer shorts, and he's scrambling it around. It's like, I'm the only one who works for the company no more. And when did you start talking? This is not one of the recorded phrases.
And the thing is, because I picture kind of like the Harry Potter photos, they kind of move, or the people in the pictures where they're like there.
Talking paintings. It's an echo of them.
Yep. And a real cheap echo here, but he's not talking. He's just kind of in his regular, but you swear for just a second, like his eyes dart over to the Z pendant around the staff and then dart back, and then he doesn't move or talk or anything. That is all.
Ralph will look at the cloak, look at the pendant, look at the cloak, look at the pendant. It's like, all right, this is officially above my pay grade. I demand a raise after all this.
And everybody else would have heard the speaking too, but you've probably heard that cloak yammer on and off so many times. You've toned it out. That's like the same commercial you've heard, or different versions of the same commercial, or whatever, or the same, right? But Ralph's the one sitting there holding his cloak, looking back and forth between that and the prize. But there you are. It's gonna be dark in a couple hours. You won't make it back to Boston, so it'll take a undertaking of a perilous journey to get home. I won't stop the role playing. You guys can go ahead and RP. I just giving you a little.
Well, if you would redress, we could be on our way and get paid for this sooner. And you will get your raise.
Hello. Oh, at least I wore a clean pair tonight. Like he'll row back up. It's like, So, we gonna just ignore the fact that the spooky cave undead things just seemingly got worse and worse?
It's still in the
Report to
cave.
someone.
We're not. We should go. And then we're going to complain to the Z-Man. That thing. Yeah, that thing you have there. He's going to talk. He looks back. He's like, 42 minions. It's going to take me a week to replenish.
That is not the concern at present.
It's going to cost more if we don't get moving.
Like Robin's just probably back, fully dressed back up. Is like, all right then. Well, lead on. So I'll take the rear because I have the magic-y push. I have the magic-y push stick that can make them at least give us space.
Real technical terms there.
Well, pardon me. It's only been a long day, and I was supposed to be off shift by a long time. Cut a working guy some slack. I mean, after all, I did save you.
Oh. I hear more bonds in the future being written here.
Actually, I'm thinking that might have just resolved one.
Okay.
I think that my I think my bond did resolve, but we'll deal with that at the end of the session.
Yep. Hold on to
Yeah.
him. Let me ask
Sorry,
you.
it was the way you worded it that made it go, oh, wait.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There goes my email or my text. All right, so here's a couple options for you. You guys can make camp and then take watch, which are two separate moves. If you do that and make camp and take watch, you can actually level up now, or we can go straight to undertaking a perilous journey. So you don't measure it in miles or days, you measure it in how many rations you consume to get back. And when you undertake a perilous journey, which is on the special moves tab in the Roll20 there, I think on the first special moves, there's three different, there is a quartermaster, a trailblazer, and a scout. So one of those three rolls has to be filled and rolled by, and they're all plus wisdom rolls. And that will tell you how well you make it back. If it takes less rations, how much time, and things like that. Or you could make camp, which means you have to eat a ration. And then if you have enough XP, you may level up. But then you also should take watch because some danger could befall you.
I would suggest moving on because my background makes it to where we do not spend rations for camping in my inn.
So just straight to undertaking a perilous journey?
Yeah.
We regain health equal to max HP. Half max. So,
Up to you guys.
my suggestion. But
Yeah.
who wins?
I say we
I'm good with
carry
that.
on.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be next to the spooky flesh cave.
Spooky
All right,
flesh
so
cave.
then who do we want to do what job?
So
They're all plus
Oh.
whiz, so it doesn't.
Fortunately, wisdom is not my strong point.
Yeah, I'm a
It's
0.
mine.
It is mine though.
Well, it's 2 out of 3.
Quartermaster will reduce the number of rations required by 1. This is going to be a 2-ration trip, not a very long trip, but it's still 2 rations for each person. So a quartermaster can reduce the number of rations required by 1 if you roll 10 plus. Trailblazer reduces the amount of time it takes to reach your destination, which to me is kind of the same thing, but we'll figure it out. And then a scout will spot any trouble quick enough to let you get a drop on it. But a 7 to 9. Yeah.
So, Olivera, what's your whiz?
It's my highest. It's a +2.
Okay. Do you want to do Trailblazer and I can do Quartermaster in hopes that we can both reduce the amount so that way we can just cut and attempt to just.
See, I was thinking scout because of how much trouble we've had. It would be better for us to be more prepared if we come across anything perilous.
I'm gonna need to step away for just a sec. Sorry, guys.
You're fine.
So I guess I'll do Trailblazer then.
Might as well. You're the one here.
Okay,
Work.
I'll
Come
do
on, Cat.
Quartermaster, and then Olivera will do Scout.
All right. Excuse me.
7,
Fuck.
6.
Wow.
We did great.
Cecil, go ahead and go ahead and mark XP.
Yeah, I did.
So wait, what were you doing, Cecil?
I was Trailblazer. Yep.
So it was just as if we had nobody in that role. Because if you'd have nobody in the role, they're
Well-
treated as if they'd rolled a 6.
Except
Yeah.
the DM has two complications / critters up his sleeve.
Each roll performs a job as expected on 7 and 9. So that's good. And so spotting the danger. So no one gets the drop on you, but you don't get the drop on them either. Journey takes about as long as expected. And normal amount. So everyone's going to have to consume 2 rations.
2 rations.
Yep. We'll make sure we tell Jeff when he gets back. However, Cecil's leading you. Maybe he's distraught about the amount of minions that are gone. Maybe his minions are the ones that are actually blazing the trail for him. I could see that.
He's got 2 of them basically acting like real dogs. They're snuffing the ground, and he's just like, he's doing this more than looking down because they're wearing skirts. Come on, stop that.
Here's the thing. So it comes to a point that you realize that you've gone the wrong direction. You've gone, if you look at the map here, a little bit to the south.
Mm-hmm.
So you're closer to the swamp than you are to Boston.
So I've lost the road, basically.
Mm-hmm. So it comes to a choice. Go ahead.
Quick question. Since I did Quartermaster as expected, does that mean reduced rations by 1?
No, it means the same. Doing it
have
as
to go 10
expected
plus.
means, yeah.
10 plus
would have lowered it.
10 plus would
Okay.
reduce it by 1. Yep. So everybody will have to consume 2. Or you won't be rested and feeling good. Excuse me. So you come to a fork in the path when you realize that you've taken the wrong trail. So, but there's an advantage here. You find a fork, and one minion comes back. He's like, boss. We're apparently we're not at Boston. We're closer to the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's that way.
Okay.
Swamp is that way. But we were smelling shinies and he pulled up like a pile of like really weird looking poop. He's like, we found poop.
Oh my god.
But here's the thing. It's the poop of dragon. It's dragon poop. I know we're near Shadow Dragon Maya, so we think. And he looks over there and he's like, yeah. Tell him. He's like, we think it's Shadow Dragon poop. Yeah. It smells like shadows. Like, so
Okay.
we can either go that way, which is shortcut, goes through dragon territory, but shortcut, or we go back around, but it's long cut, take longer to go home.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do then. You're going to sit here, and while we walk away, you can hold on to the poop until it magically feeds you while we walk that way. Bye-bye. He's going to take the fork to town. He's done with this crap.
So you can take a shortcut, and there's a possibility there's danger, or you can take the long way around and consume another ration each.
I mean, we all start with 5 dungeon rations.
Yeah.
I would rather not risk the wrath of a dragon.
Yeah, that's what my brain was saying. Yeah, we're going to go around.
Yeah, just because we're all beat up. I don't have.
I have no more soul, and I'm only really useful against undead.
I don't have any more enchantment.
Enchantment.
Gear.
Enchantment.
Thank you, Sandal.
I recently started replaying those games.
Man. Memories.
on console, which is really a switch because I've only played on PC.
My buddy and I always thought Sandal was the most BA of the game because here he is. He's just
Sandal was great.
he's a simple little dwarf. He's great with enchantments, but at the end of the game, he's like the only one left alive in this area. And he's covered with blood. And it's like, I think he went to town on all the bad guys and survived. I think he's really secretly a badass.
Sandal's great.
He has enchantments. You don't think he made the best enchantments for himself?
I know, man. Sandal and his cousin Flip Flop.
Probably like Superman when he turns them all on, and no one will ever know because he's off camera.
And I'm just sitting here, just like,
Enchantment?
because I'm not sure what game you're talking about.
Dragon Age.
Must have been Inquisition or Beyond. I only played the original.
It was two.
It was in 2.
Fine. You guys go around my dragon. You were like, I was thinking like, I'm going to pull the dragon out anyway, but I'm not going to. So I don't have a city actually built. Oops. Oh, I took the road with you. Dang it. It's not supposed to. So everybody consumes 3 rations and you come back to Boston and you enter the city proper. Well done on.
We didn't die.
It looked a little hairy. I don't know if we wouldn't have actually had some of these cheer bits you could buy. I don't know what would have happened.
We would have been dead.
Yeah. We're pretty close.
9 hit points left.
8.
Oh man.
Yeah, and again, I reiterate, this is not going to be a common thing, guys.
13 out of 17.
So 9 of 21.
But like all the rushing, and I imagine since we didn't make camp, we just kind of went all through the night, just kind of like keep going.
Oh, you're tired.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all tired. Like Ralph probably is leaning pretty heavily on his staff. He probably is a little unkempt. His beard is all scraggly in different directions. He's like, "Yay, civilization."
So starts chuckling. You're all allowed to stay for free at the inn tonight.
The Golden Fang.
Alavara probably looks the least affected of the group because she just kind of always looks exhausted.
Oh, he's back.
Yay!
I just realized I got to.
Welcome
Sorry
back.
about that.
You're fine. I'll let you guys recap real quick while I fix the overlay.
So,
We used 3 rations because Tweedledee and Tweedledum got us lost.
My minions.
His minions.
His Cecil's minions, because Cecil did Trailblaze, Olivera did scouting, which nothing get the drop on us, and I attempted to quartermaster, so we only expended what was expected. So, but essentially we were given an option: either take the shortcut to avoid using more rations
Through Dragon Territory.
would have been through Shadow Dragon territory, or take the long way around for an extra ration. So, and probably a lot more walking to get here without having to break camp somewhere in the boonies where we could get jumped on.
So ended up using 3 rations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 rations total.
We didn't want to risk the wrath of a dragon.
Which each
Understood.
because everybody should have started with some dungeon rations, and it's 5 uses.
If not, if you haven't used 3 rations, you're taking a hit. So let me know if you've not eaten 3 rations.
I've
Take my rations.
taken them off.
All right.
So it's like,
They were numbed.
I don't know about you, but let's cash this thing in, and then you know what, the tavern sounds phenomenal because at the very least it probably smells a whole lot better than my apartment right now.
Have you met his minions?
He runs an establishment. I imagine he's got to keep some level of clean.
Yeah, the ones out front. There's some of them that are not suitable for people. I think they're technically pigs.
Benny. You were invited to stay at the Golden Fang Tavern and Inn for the night for
For free.
free by Cecil, who owns it. So you guys have been here before. That's right. Some of you guys don't like each other. That's right.
I'll go.
So here are. You're entering the city of Boston, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we see. It's a moderate-sized city. It's not the biggest. It's not the smallest. Some most mundane items are available here. Some types of skilled labors. The population is growing steadily. Slow growth, right? And there's definitely armed defenders all the time. There's a market, and there's a guild. And I think we talked about the guild was a guild of accountants. With the nail, I like the silver scales as we developed it there. There's other guilds maybe here, but the main guild that wielding the most power is the silver scales. So everybody give me a small detail about the city that we see as we enter, whether it's a sight, a smell, a taste, a feeling, something about this city that's kind of cool, and we can learn about it as we go in, right? I'll tell you a little bit more about it myself and ask you a couple more questions. So anybody have something they want to put in here, something you're envisioning of the city that you live in or come from or have residence in at this time?
So I got two things to put forward, one for the city and one for the scales. So
Ooh, yes.
First thing for the silver scales like Ralph a lot because he does a lot of business with them because as an independent contractor who has to keep track of an entire business, yeah, he uses their services quite frequently. So he's kind of a respected client. And his dealings with them have always been good dealings. He hasn't been shirked. Still thinks that their contract costs are highway robbery, but when they're the only bit in town, I guess they get to demand whatever they want. But the city itself, though, is, I imagine, very Germanic in appearance, like Germanic architecture, like Germanic medieval architecture, I should say. So lots of points, lots of pointy things. So the people are fairly gruff. That's what I have to put forward.
I like it. I'm adding it in there in my little notes area.
All right. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Cecil and the accountant guilds, his business doesn't get along with them because he does not use them at all. And as of yet, they have never fully assessed my worth or where my money goes or came from in the first place.
You make money.
I'm a tavern. I'm still there. Somebody has to pay for things. But
I'm amazed the business is profitable.
And as far as the city, there is a subsection of the city that is for the people wise. As they walk through, they have what looks like the steampunk outfit, like some weird gauntlets and stuff on their arms, but it's all magic based.
Magic.
So it's like for theses and lifting aids, like some person's picking a crate off a cart. That's an pretty much average cart pulled by a horse, but he's got these things on his arm that helps him lift the crate up with himself, and he as a regular human.
That's cool. I like that. All right, etc., etc. So this is a certain part of the city, or it's something common we see in the city.
It's sprinkled around.
It's
not
high magic.
Uncommon, but it's not everybody has it.
Okay.
It's kind of like this guy's job is this, so he probably has something to help him do it better.
Okay. All right, a couple of nice little things. I like these little details. I'm not going to make anybody add it to him, but does Benny and Oliver have anything that they'd like to put in? It could be little things. It doesn't be anything. It can be something major.
One little thing that I don't know for some reason just kind of clicked in my head.
Yep.
For the rich quarter of the city, it is very common for the residents of the rich end to have stained glass windows. Sort of a way to show off their wealth.
That's really cool. I like that stained glass windows in their houses and their manors.
Anything from showing what god they worship to their house sigil, whatever it may be.
Ooh,
Something to show their stats.
I have something to build on top of that.
Yeah, this is how it
Struck
works.
me, but I'll let Alavera go. Alavera has something to add.
I'm not sure. I'm kind of toying with the whole undead theme that we've got going on. To kind of the city, most cremate their dead, that they're burned and they're not buried or entombed anywhere. However, I imagine that the rich, as they like to show off their wealth, have built mausoleums or tombs or whatnot and actually display their dead, sort of.
So
That's-
jump off.
Sorry, I was gonna say that's very good. I'm typing as we go here. So
Of course.
okay, go ahead.
To piggyback off of both of their ideas a little bit too. The 1%ers, the rich of the rich, the stained glass. So not only do they get mausoleums with stained glass windows to display their dead, but said stained glass windows are enchanted magically to be like the back of my robe, moving pictures in stained glass.
Oh. And
Because what better way to say how rich you are than to have a stained glass window tell you, hey, behold our power and history. Let me tell you about my great grandfather who borrowed a parcel of land from the king.
ooh, oh, that actually reminds me of something. That is beautiful. Okay, moderate city, steady, slow growth. There are armed defenders. We'll talk about the guard. There's a market. There's a guild, the Silver Scales. I didn't finish filling this out because I thought we'd do it together, but there's one bonus and one problem with this city. So I'll put these in the Roll20 chat real quick, and you guys, we can either roll or you can tell me what you like. This gives you pluses or minuses to the city. So the city has a permanent defenses like walls or something similar. The city is ruled by a single individual. Our personage, power that's political. The city is diverse, dwarven, elven, or other races. The city is a trade hub. The city is ancient, built on top of its own ruins. The city is a center of learning, arcane, craft, your choice. Now, we can fill in some blanks here. And there could be multiples, but these are kind of the main ones. I thought instead of just doing it myself, I thought I'd let you guys talk about it, kind of what we've talked about here, kind of push that development into existence.
I kind of like the trading hub one myself. Simply, it feeds into where the city's located along the map.
Well, I also kind of feel like that doesn't quite fit because a trade hub would grow faster.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly kind of leaning towards the city being a center of learning.
I do like
Because
that
the
one.
whole the fact that we have troubleshooters for magic here.
And the wizard
that makes
wizard
sense.
is housed here, isn't he? This is where he makes his home.
Well,
I developed enchantments, so yeah, center of learning would make sense.
yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Because I'm the one who's constantly having to fix everyone's tech.
It also makes sense why Alavara would be here. If there are more undead and undead are appearing more frequently, she would seek out this center of learning.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like that. Yep.
Especially if it's arcane knowledge, then
Okay.
if I don't know why, this is
Maybe
where I
they
would
do.
come.
I agree. I think there could be still a small trade hub like area
Oh, yeah.
and things like that, but its majority will say out of all
Not
these
the
options.
Focus. Okay.
So
Yeah.
the city is a center of learning. What kind of learning? Is it arcane? I'm assuming arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type
Arcane makes sense.
of craft? Or is that all? Arcane says arcane, craft, your choice, or power
I
arcane.
would say, with the descriptions we have, and considering my vocation, I would say Arcanotech.
Arcanotech? Ooh.
I completely ripped that off of some other series. I can't even remember what, but it's arcane technology.
Well, that's kind of how we were talking about this world running. I mean, this was like what Cecil said, powerlifting aids with gauntlets, things like that. So that all makes sense. Okay, well that is perfect. Let me get rid of that. Now we're going to choose a problem. Oops. And also I want to know how the city is ruled, but actually that might be part of the choices here. I shouldn't get too ahead of myself. So let me make a little line and then throw all this in there. The city has outgrown its resources. The city has designs on nearby territory. The city is ruled by a theocracy. The city is ruled by the people. The city has supernatural defenses. The city lies in a place of power. So these are things that are not necessarily...
I honestly like the very last one simply because that would also feed into why the wizard was really here. Like he was here because he didn't have, perhaps he hadn't had his amulet for so long. So, you could feed into like, ooh, maybe he's here because he didn't have this stuff. And
I always like ley lines as just, and I like ley lines. That's where I'll leave it.
yeah.
I mean,
It's a
how
good
else am I
concept.
supposed to make my ley line attunement forks work? Critical parts of, the Magitech toaster.
So it...
I have to.
Oh no, go ahead.
Sorry,
Benny?
I was just gonna keep beating that joke with like a dead horse. Please go on.
Like a dead Draugr. Okay, so the city lands on a place of power, which is arcane ley lines.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And now, just because I want to get it underhand, who runs the city? Is it run by the people? Is it a theocracy? Is it a monarchy? Is it guild run by the Silver Scales? Or some other type of governmental installation? And along with that, let's talk about the guard and what they look like and how they operate. And then we're going to run back into you guys returning to see the wizard. Well, I still have some brain in my head.
Monarchy is pretty standard, but I do like the thought of it being ruled by the guilds. That's always fun.
So, kind of a half step in between, maybe a Supreme Council, maybe? Just technically.
A council theoretically chosen by the people, but the guilds manipulate everything behind the scenes.
Yeah, an oligarchy.
Oligarchy.
Yeah.
So a council, ruled by a council, decided by the people, or elected by the people.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Elected by the
in theory.
People, actually run by the guilds.
Yeah.
Layer it up.
And that's called how do you say it?
Oligarchy.
It's an oligarchy, yeah.
Google will correct it for me. Thank you. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it's essentially a Supreme Council that makes decisions, which would also explain why growth is slow, because it probably takes forever for them to agree on anything.
Perfect.
Yeah, bureaucracy is bureaucracy.
All right, so
red tape.
Got to fill out Form 32B just so I can talk to you today.
My last thing I'd like from you, the guard that guards the city, which is at least with a total pool of less than 100 or equivalent. I would say at least 100 in the city this size. Pretty good sized city. The guard that works for the council. Also the name of the council. I'd like to know what the name of the council is and the name of the guard and a little bit about the guard. To give us and that'll kind of finish up kind of what the city looks like that we're stationed in here. This is Boston. This is the site that all the stuff that we've been telling you here and coming up with is the site that, and the smells and the sounds that we get as our four adventurers drag their butts back into town, exhausted and wounded and beat up, heading for the Golden Fang first or straight to the Wizard's Tower. We'll find out in a second. Everybody's thinking
more
hard.
Arcane stuff and everything like that. Here's a kind of just a name for the council that I can throw in there. Council of the 5 Stars.
Council of the 5 Stars.
I dig it.
I like it.
Council. Now am I to? I don't want to assume, but are there 5 council members?
I would assume with
I would
that sort of a
assume so,
name,
yeah.
that way there is no way that there is ever a tie.
Yeah.
Never a tie. Oops.
At least it's meant to be.
Maybe with one that is like the final decision maker, and
Okay.
Yeah.
the other 4 being lesser than him. Possibly the one that's at the very top is the one that's the top of the Silver Scales Guild.
But what if at never mind. That's going too deep. I've gone too deep, guys.
Going to
Get out of the rabbit hole.
Come back to us.
And
Excuse me.
I also had the idea if it is the Council of 5 Stars, if there's guards representing each quote unquote star, they could be a different color of star to represent who they represent.
Maybe the city itself is divided into 5 precincts. Like
Yeah.
one's the Rich Quarter, one is for the Captains of Industry, one is for
jeez.
one is for the trades. One is the residential, and then one is the arcane.
Oh man, I can't even keep up. Arcane, residential.
Arcane, residential,
Trades.
industrial, and then
And then the 1%.
And then the 1%.
and then the stupid rich people.
Which they would probably call
SRPs.
themselves like the Resplendents or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Resplendent district.
And as
Yes.
such, we probably see a disparity with the guards,
Oh yeah.
who probably are financed through each district instead of as the city as a whole. So
Which would definitely screw with them having to do jurisdiction crap.
yeah,
Oh lord.
like the ones from the Resplendent
Resplendent.
district, probably are all just pompous assholes who really don't do anything. They're all probably just aristocrat brats who
Kind of like the gold cloaks from Game of Thrones.
Thank
the
you,
King's
Ultrazuli.
Guard, they're like rich and all that, but
Yeah.
really they're not all that good.
the industrial
like one or
quarter
two.
probably, while the industrial quarter probably focuses more on guardsmen who are more equipped with maybe that arcano tech, just more machine like. Maybe they actually have bang 6 or something.
Yay, world building, everybody.
It's happening right here, right now. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Okay. I couldn't keep up with everything, but I got most of it. We can fill in a little bit more about the guard later. I think that is good. And I like the different colors to go with the different districts. 5 different districts. One to represent one council member to represent each of the 5 districts, each of which mean 5 different precincts and things there. This is very good. I think what we'll do, since we have a little bit of time left, we're going to go over maybe just a touch, but not by too much, I don't think, because my brain is melting. And we started a touch early tonight. But we get to play a full session, which I'm happy about.
Woo.
And I still got 2 things to use against you, and you guys still have, 110 plus left? We have to remember that.
Yeah. I'll write it in my notes.
Trust me, I won't let you forget, buddy.
All right. Do you guys want to... Would you go back and rest first and then see the wizard, or would you go right straight to the wizard? It's probably like mid-morning when you come into the city.
Let's get our.
Let's go talk to the wizard
Yeah,
first.
Let's go get our pay
I
now.
don't want this magic Z chain for any longer than I need to.
Yeah.
So Ralph also wants the money.
Okay. So this is going to be in the arcane precinct, I imagine. And I'm sure that there is a major, maybe like a mage university or magic's university, like not Hogwarts, but something like that. Not just all for kids, but for anybody of college age or whatever. That's probably built right on the actual ley line where they connect in the city. But trailing off of that, there are lots of other types of businesses and magics and
Yeah.
things like that, right?
I like the idea that this was the original center of the city until the district started being created.
Oh,
And now that's where this council is in a new center. So this has become the arcane district. Before it was the city. So there's some old buildings that are like, there's this one dude that's like 5,000 years old because of magic, and he's still living in this crazy hut. But next to him is this big university building.
the cat,
Literally,
the original
literally,
law.
like literally real world hermits.
It reminds me
It's
of
a real world hermit.
what it is the movie Up, and the old
Yep.
man is in his house when they're trying to
He's
build.
just this old mage that just, I was here first.
You damn kids, get off my lawn. Yeah. Perfect.
Anyway, sorry. Go
Get
ahead.
off
Nope.
my lawn unless you have donuts.
And then so we come down the side street. It's a few blocks off the main strip, and we come to Zorm's tower, because he is the wizard. There are a lot of different mages, but he is the wizard.
The wizard.
And
Duh.
I feel like, much like his personality, or more like his brain, his tower is rather crooked. And I think of the tower, one of my favorite old Disney movies, The Sword and the Stone, when Merlin is living in the castle where Wart is from, and it's the old tower. It's like it's barely together. It's kind of like that. It's a little bit better
On
shape,
the roof.
but yeah, there's a hole in the roof. It's very crooked. And you guys come up there, like I said, you're dragon butt, and you're coming up, and come up to the front door. It's like a big double wooden door with all kinds of iron strappings. And as you enter the property, it's like pretty much a conical, or it's not conical, but it's like one single tower, right? There's a nice garden.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of circular yard property, nice little brick wall. And come up the walk, and as you get close to the door, you can start to feel the presence of magic, just like last time you were here. Whoever went inside, probably Alavara mostly. It was just Alavara, I think, that was here before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But those who use magic can feel the magic emanating. Even Cecil feels something, but also all of you feel that something is a little wrong. And that's when Zorm's pet Kragan, the one that originally stole the Z pendant, comes flying down and lands on, it's got like, there's a couple posts nearby, and she lands there. Alavar, you've seen her before. So Kragan is a cat combined with a dragon. And it's so basically it's more furry, like a cat in the front half, and then kind of hybrids to a scaly behind and a scaly tail. And this one happens to be all black with a white tummy and white paws, white whiskers, and really greenish yellow eyes. And it comes flying. And Tice the Betrayer coming in with 100. That's a free +1 to a roll coming up.
Hey!
That's two 100s.
Yep.
He split that cheer into two.
How am I missing this? What did he do? Oh, he did 200 bits.
Two 100 bits.
Because
I'm
you
sorry.
can see in the chat the two icons.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Tice, for the 2
Tice.
+1. So we have 2 +1s and an automatic 10+ roll for our players, which they'll get to use next time, and we all have them banked. The Kragan lands on the fence post, and it's like, looking panicked for a cat, and it's just like something gone wrong since you last here. Oh yeah, also it speaks. And 1 second, I'll see if I can find. I shouldn't. Yes, I should. Hold on. Background. Forgive me. This is add image. Desktop. Where are you, precious? Take it out for my own cat. Her whole face isn't gonna fit in there, but she's got the cat front, and it doesn't really come through like I want it to. And so she lands and she looks, and she doesn't actually speak out of her mouth. She speaks through telepathy, and you can hear her voice. And she's like, "Why did you bring that back? Can't you see things are already going wrong here? And now Zorm's trapped inside? Shame on you." And she points a finger like this, and we can hear the ominous music beginning, and we look up, and we see the tower shaking slightly, like it's rocking in the wind. and that's where we close for the night. So,
Hello.
Why you
Maybe we
rest
should have
before
slept
you-
before coming back.
Okay. Oh, Tice is clarifying in the chat that he paid for a complication, not 2 + 1s.
oh,
Yes.
oh yes, there is.
Well, all
So,
right then.
so that's 3. Okay.
We're
it
gonna
down in
cry
Roll20.
next time.
So yes, Tice, I'm sorry, Tice the Betrayer, who wants to troll like Flubadub. We just given the GM an introduction of a new threat or a monster. So that's 3 in the bank for me, and an auto 10 in the bank for you guys. Sorry about that, Tice. I'm still getting used to learning that, and I'm not even interpreting my own stuff correctly. But thank you for speaking up, and that will be. It's just.
Next time.
He just added metal.
Please stop.
We're back at 4.
Some will be bad, some will be good, some will be.
I'm not happy, Bob.
We're just gonna get smacked around like a fracking pinata. This is gonna be the shortest campaign ever, guys. If you guys keep beating
I'll
on
make
us
sure
like
to
this.
prepare my
we
next
appreciate
character.
the cheers, but come on, guys.
I love
Yeah, we love the cheers.
Where's the love?
But like,
that is love.
so
That's
Anyway,
something.
Tough love.
Well,
we have some experience to do.
yes, and
Like Gertrude the Dominatrix love.
yes, true. Ultra Zuli, who played Rudiger, the fighter, just punched everything last time. Tice Betrayer said this is for the feast at the end of the Uthar Saga Soundwave. So that's a little. They played the little Pendragon on the side, and Tice was a part of that. And
He
he
didn't make it.
Spoilers.
He didn't make it past that one
Well-
session.
No one did.
Tice.
No one did.
We will be back in 2 weeks for more Dungeon World, and we will have these banked. Thank you for coming. I know it was right at the end, but I thank you for coming in and spending that. And we're going to come back in time because we are alternating Tuesday nights with this and Alien RPG. But we might be doing those similar things with those games because that means I can be a player in Dan's game and then get screwed by people throwing Bitcoin in there or bit cheers in. But before we jump into all those
Sir,
shoutros,
you wish it was Bitcoin.
yeah, should have invested in it a long time ago. All right, let's do the end of the session. We're doing XP this time, and I think hopefully everybody will level up. Even though you should have went back and rested. Oh well, we'll just see what happens. End of
I
session.
should have rested before seeing the wizard.
Anybody resolve a bond?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say kind of yes.
Well, let's start with Alavara, and then we're gonna go counterclockwise to Benny, Ralph, and Cecil.
Well, her bond with Ralph that I brought him back from death's door, I feel like that one's repaid by him saving her.
I would agree with that.
As long as they both agree.
Yeah. Consequently, I also think that, ironically, Alavara seems to have enchanted me. I think it is resolved in that now that he's been in a grubby dungeon, he mentioned about poking around in the sarcophagi, and well, they still bust open. And he had to save her. He's a little. He's not so much enchanted as
Annoyed.
like not all what he thought she was.
Not to mention, I kind of invited him along.
Does Alavara agree to this?
Yeah.
Then if you both have those bonds, you can erase them, mark 1 XP, and write new ones in their place. I do like to hear the new ones too when you have them, but they can also wait till next time if you want.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out that one.
Benny,
Yeah.
what is yours?
I do have the bond with Cecil that he doesn't fully trust him because he reminds him of somebody who did him wrong in the past. At this point, he trusts Cecil enough. When the whole fight was going down, he could have completely ditched everybody and not work to save anyone and just save his own skin, but he chose not to. And on top of that, offered him room in his tavern for free for a night. So
There you go.
maybe this guy's not so bad after all.
That is perfectly what the bonds are for. That is a perfect example. Go ahead and erase that bond, mark XP, and think of a new one. at some point. Now, remember, you guys can resolve more than one bond in a session, but you can only mark XP once for it. Cecil, what one do you have?
For Benny, I'm removing neutral or possibly a threat. Mainly because I don't feel he's a threat anymore. But I'm going to replace it with an able musician and aid to the party. Perhaps I'll hire him as a jester in the future.
With the way I've been rolling, I do not blame at all.
Hey, you successfully managed to heal me at least twice. Not for very much, but you did
Not
it
for very
successfully
much,
at least
but
twice.
yeah. So maybe that's his calling after all.
Okay, as long as everybody agrees. Everybody's done a bond and marks XP. Have we all leveled up yet, by the way?
That bond resolve
I'm
just
too
made me
past.
ding.
I'm only at 6
I'm
HP.
currently sitting at 9, so I would.
6, Alvaro.
Yep. I didn't fail very much tonight.
All
I only
right.
failed like one
Yeah.
roll.
I kept my
good for
numbers
you.
flowing.
I was sitting there looking at Hack and Slash going, I could try and stab one of these now that I'm out of soul, but like my strength is a -1. And then we decided to run, so it never came to stabbing.
I think you'll still get there. We still have 3 questions, but we have this first. If you fulfilled your alignment at least once this session, mark XP. Alavar, did you fulfill your alignment?
Nope.
What is your alignment?
I have to carry out a spirit's last request.
Yeah, I failed on my domination of another's will.
You tried.
You tried. You did not flex anybody into submission this time.
Ralph accomplished his. We discovered that apparently this pendant has something to do with all the wonky shit.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Because discovers something about a magical mystery. Well, the exposition Kragan. Is it Kragan or?
Yeah.
Kragan, yeah.
Yeah, so just was like, why did you bring it back? It's already making things worse.
That's true. Also, you might have thought that your father, who is imprinted on the back like a living photograph, might have been eyeballing that thing and talking to you, weirdly enough. Okay, so you got your alignment. Anybody else?
No, Benny did not because he didn't spur others to a significant or unplanned.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's all in time.
We'll have another chance.
We didn't die, so we have the future chances.
You do. 3 questions, and then we're all done with the XP, and we'll do some shoutros and be up out of here. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, we world built
created.
the city.
We created pretty much the town's architecture and social structure.
Yes, we
Got
did.
a little deep in there.
Which is a lot more world building than I do for some of my novels.
You know,
In one night.
But it's also something neat.
Tice is going to save some money so you can wreck some rolls.
Oh, come on, guys.
Oh, ow.
They really need you on the alien ties. They need you on the alien on the opposite Tuesday.
We'll be talking. All right, so everybody mark XP for
change it now.
Everybody mark XP for that one. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Yes.
Yes.
The strengthened Draugr I accidentally created.
Oh, I was actually thinking the Morag, but yeah.
And I
yes.
stopped
too.
I stopped two from getting in the way of our exit.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody mark another XP. And last one, did we loot a memorable treasure?
Not this time.
Not this time.
I mean, we already counted the Z pendant from
Yeah.
before.
You did.
We did.
It's 8 XP to level up, right?
It is.
Haha, I just hit it.
Congratulations, everybody's level 2,
so-
almost level.
yep.
2. Well, once you rest, you'll be level 2. So
Yeah.
Rest.
So
We should have done before.
We should have done that.
Zorms.
Yeah.
you could
Problem
always
is,
walk away.
If we rest, the problem is if we rested before this, unless some of us were already sitting at 8 from
Yeah.
fails, we wouldn't have leveled up
Yeah,
anyway.
it would have just been me
That's
and
true.
maybe Benny.
So here's what to think about next time. Since we'll do some stuff, and you'll probably get a chance to level. So have in mind what you want to do for your level up. Like I said, you don't get HP unless you up your con. So your HP is going to stay the same. So you're going to be able to put one of your 6 attributes up by 1, and you can slowly build them up. And then you're going to be able to pick a new special ability. And once you hit like level 6 or whatever, you get to do the advanced moves, but you'll get to pick a new move. So those are two things you get, and spellcasters will get new spells at level 3, I think. So just kind of have in mind what you want. And like I said, we have 2 weeks, so it'll be plenty of time. So we have a couple other games that we do. I'll let Cecil talk about the one that's on opposing. But this Friday, if we can get her back off the ground, we had a little bit of trouble, but we're going to get her back off the ground. We have Robotech, the Macro Saga, our anime, 1980s anime come to life, our season 2. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it. And then in a couple months, once we figure it out and get the cast and we're ready, the Friday night games will hopefully, I'd like to move them to Thursdays, but we'll talk as we cast for Band of Blades, which is the Forge in the Dark game based off John Harper's Blades in the Dark. So Band of Blades, the dark military fantasy, is a coming down the pipe, and a few other things that we're going to look at down the road as well. That one actually will have an ending point. It might actually go quick, so if it's a really good fast game, maybe we'll have to play Band of Blades a couple times. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to start Shoutros with Alavara, and we're going to go counterclockwise to Benny, Ralph, and Cecil, and then back to me as we'll end for the night. And yeah, we'll get out of here. So let's go to Alavara for some Shoutros. Your turn.
Alrighty, I don't have much, but you can find me on Twitter as @thatnerdywriter. It'll also show my name as Ava Rogers there. That's where I do most of my writing stuff.
Oh,
I think that's all I got.
that was all right. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. You can find me if you ever go on to smol.com or Smol the app. You can find me at JeffBeck1108. You can find me doing voice acting and singing. That's it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, fortunately, I have enough stuff to make up for the both of them. Hi, folks. I'm Jodo1025. I'm constantly one of Lucas's trolls out here. I'm in everything he's got going on right now, but when I'm not here for Aliens or Robotech as a smart gunner or crazy Russian artillery man, respectively, you can catch me over on my channel, twitch.tv/Jodo1025, where I do mostly D&D and tabletop content. So I've had 2 long-standing series, one of which came to a very abrupt end as of last Saturday because my Call of Cthulhu campaign, Operation Cathedral, well, all my investigators died. They died a very miserable death. So the world just gets that much darker. So I will be figuring out what is going to be going into my normal alternating Saturday slot here, hopefully soon. So just keep your eyes peeled. I should have something coming down the pipeline. The other thing I have is Titans of Moran, a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign that I run as part of my Extra Life charity drive. So the wonderful cast is attempting to survive this big homebrewed campaign setting that I've set up, and well, they just got ejected from the first major city that they've left in turmoil and on fire. So and lots more stuff to go on that, but that's on alternating Tuesdays, so it's going to be this next or not Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So it's going to be, so the next episode should be on Wednesday, July 1st. So and that's going to be at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I do everything in Mountain Standard Time because I live out here in middle America. But I also have one more big announcement. In addition to like the other random video game streams I've been doing, we have a major fundraiser, another big push for Extra Life this coming Saturday. So Saturday the 27th from 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time will be Maureen's Mad Menagerie, where is a slight continuation of the Terrible Taras task that me and a bunch of other players got together to do, to raise money for sick kids. It's a year and a half later, and Mad Maureen is at her antics again, looking for the perfect pet. Considering that her last pet attempt was a Tarrasque, I'm worried
Perfect.
about what we're going to find.
It's the perfect creature.
Yeah. So, but that's all big part of that's all a big part of our extra life charity drive. I am actually not the DM. I actually get to play in that one. Instead, it's Mighty Mr. M, who plays Beeble in my Titans of Moron series, who's running it, and he does a delightful job as a dungeon master of 20 plus years. So, so definitely check that out. It's for a great cause, and your donations can affect our game, much like the bits affected us here. So if you feel like it, so Tice, I'm looking at you, buddy. If you want to exercise that murder boner for a good cause for the helping the kids, come check me out on Saturday, bud. So, but yeah. So, but with that, I turn it over to Soundwaves Ghost, aka Mr. Cecil.
Where? What? Oh.
I'm somewhere. I'm over here. I'm over there. I'm everywhere. I don't know me. I am a Soundwaves Ghost, as mentioned previously. I am currently running an alien RPG game that we're calling Colonial Marines Frosted Assets. It's set in a customized world thanks to Freya Liagan? Free League Publishing is technically their name in English, so I'll say it right. They have all the rules in the back of the book to create an individual star system so you don't have to stay within the movie plot structure. And that's what we've done. My brave Marines are in a system with 6 planets total, 5 of them actually still planets. And they're on the 5th one, supposed to work their way in, and they've gotten to a bit of a pickle. And they found themselves in fun times. The idea of that campaign is to go until either we've explored all the planets and no one's having any fun anymore, or they're dead, and then we start over.
I think the latter is definitely an option,
It's definitely an
depending on
option.
how these horror
And
games go.
it's a mix of asset horror, as I'm starting to call it, where it's the point where you're running out of supplies at all times. Like there's something always running low. That's kind of the biggest horror. And then, of course, there's aliens. Yeah, that small thing.
Or in our case, giant car like VW bus sized crabs that pop out of the ground.
When you play God with science, some bad things happen.
Yes, they do.
But other than that, I think that's it for right now. I'm also in the Friday game, and I'm really hoping to be in Bands and Blades. But if not, I'm going to definitely have to watch it. It's been excited about that since we first discussed it almost a year ago now. We first threw it out there as an idea. Just so much stuff keeps going on. Other than that, I'm here. You know, if you guys come to the Discord and want to chat, we're there. I may work all day, but my work is literally on this monitor, and Discord and everything's on this monitor. So I may be slow to respond, but I will respond. If you have questions about Alien RPG, I don't know them all, but I am getting really good friends with the people that are also like me, just coming up with off the cuff over in certain sites, and I can direct you to them. I would suggest if anybody wants to run Alien RPG and you've got the book, there is an adventure in the back. Basically, it's basically a module from D&D type scenario. And then the Charity of the Gods is on sale from their site. And it's a self-contained, fun, yet painful process to go through that module for your players. They're going to have a blast. They're going to have stories. And at the end of it, they're going to be mad because why did we all go through that? We could have done this. And, you know, afterwards, you'll have all these ideas of all these other things I could have done instead, because it's that good of a module. You don't want to quit, but at the same time, you're just like, I was smarter.
We played it and it was great.
Yep. But I believe that's it. Thanks for everyone. It's for always coming out. Thanks for those who shared, even though if one of them on my screen is he's over here, even though one of them patted his own pocket more than anybody else. But it was worth it. It's fun, and we're going to keep having fun because of that. So thank you, as always, for supporting Lucas. He's a real cool guy, and appreciate always playing with him and others. That's it for me. Good night.
All right. I'm out of juice. I'm out of voice, but thank you. Follow, like, subscribe. Join the YouTube. See what we've done. Subscribe on Twitch if you have a little more to throw out there, so you can get all the latest updates and look at all these beautiful people's things as they all work hard game for entertainment for ourselves and for you. It is a good time. Thank you for everybody who came out and for the donations. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tice the Betrayer and Flubadub and Jodo1025 for the donations. Thank you for all these other people, especially this viewer. Just their name is Feet. I love it. I love the name Feet.
I just realized he's out there too because he haunts my streams as well. So
I love it. Ultra Lazuli.
congratulations, we're both haunted by feet.
The agony of defeat. All right, another viewer at 10, Commander Root, Jodo 1025, Feet, Lemon Juices 12, Lurks, Rubber Slayer, Silas Dark, Thakkur, Tice the Betrayer, and Ultra Lazuli for being in the chat. We thank you. And I'm going to end it right there. You guys know where to find us. Discord, YouTube, all those places. We'll see you this Friday and again next Tuesday for Alien RPG. So until then, good night, God bless, and good gaming. See you guys later. Peace.